You had mentioned before that you can have good quality and low prices.
You can.
You can or you can't? You can?
You
You
can't.
can? You cannot?
Cannot.
You cannot have
High quality
and
low price.
And low prices.
No, it's just the math just doesn't pan out in business because it's all about what it costs you to make a product determines your selling price for the product. So if it costs you high, the price obviously is going to be high to sell.
So what is the difficulty when you have a consumer base that statistically does not have the money of other communities, but you still want to sell them high quality clothing?
Yeah, well, I think, in business, you got to be able to establish your basics and then your fashion pieces also. So some of your fashion pieces will be more of your high quality pieces, the stuff that's going to make a statement for your brand. But then just like Levi's and other companies, they do have products that are basics, and basics is something that you run month after month. So once you get into a rhythm of running something consistently, you could get lower prices on it, and you could kind of carve the quality somewhat to do more volume for a certain particular customer, because like there's certain stores who can't sell your fashion pieces, but then they could sell your basic t-shirt and your basic jean at a certain price point. So just like with Ralph Lauren, it's this business, they have Ralph Lauren chaps, which is a whole different price point than a Ralph Lauren. Then they got Ralph Lauren Purple Label,
which is the high end.
Yeah, it's high. He understands the dynamics too. Not everyone could afford Purple Label, so he has chaps. So you speak to different markets and different income brackets by different selections of clothing that you put out there. So I'm sure the same quality level for chaps is not the same as Purple Label as well.
No, absolutely.
It's two different things, two different ball games.
Kanye had that famous line when he was on Sway's show. He said, "It ain't Ralph though."
Yeah.
Do you feel out of all the brands out in the world, would you say that Polo, that Ralph Lauren, really had the most impressive operation overall?
No doubt about it. I wore Polo growing up.
Yeah, me too.
We did whatever we can do to get some Polo.
Right. I mean, actual gangs in New York.
Yeah,
formed,
Polo gangs.
The lowlifes.
Yeah.
Formed around wearing Polo.
You know why? Because Polo, it's a symbol of success. You know what I mean? And people want what they can't get. And it just spoke among success, and it didn't show success for our people, but it showed success, and we wanted to be part of that. So you put that on, you feel successful, and you put that on, people are going to give you a double look, like, oh, okay, he paid some money for that shirt right there. That's cool. And then you see the white guy driving on the block in his Mercedes or his Bentley, he got on a Polo shirt. You watch the US Open, you see Polo sponsors that. So certain subliminal messages that Polo sends, and it's a lifestyle. You go into stores, they have a certain smell. They smell like Polo.
Really?
You know what I mean? They have certain colognes in there that just breed success. So it's a whole marketing image type of thing that they do, and they're just good. And not only that, the biggest part about it is that Ralph Lauren dominates real estate in every major department store. If you go in there, you never see Polo just on a small rack. Never. You see a store within a store.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So it's all visual. So how can you not want to be part of that? The visuals are there. And I feel like any mistake we might have made in the past of the days, we didn't manipulate the department store business the way we should have. We were on our way. We had 3 shops in Macy's. We had a shop in Macy's 34th Street. We had a shop in Macy's Brooklyn. And we had a shop in Macy's in Queens. But here's the problem that we had. Remember I mentioned a situation about our sales staff. When one of these guys left and went to my competitors, they took all my salespeople that was working with department stores with them. So we kind of lost that business at that time. So there's a lot of things that we didn't know as we were moving and grooving that we won't make those same errors going forward.
Where do you think the Polo differs with like a Louis Vuitton or a Gucci?
I would put them almost in a similar arena.
Because I mean, the price point is very different.
Yep.
Like for example, like there's no such thing as Louis Vuitton on sale.
Oh no, it's not gonna find that.
It doesn't happen.
Right.
Now you could go to certain outlets and find a Gucci outlet.
Yep.
And occasionally get Gucci for 50% off. And they have like the little samples, not the sample sale, but they have like a bi-yearly sale in which they discount certain things.
Yep.
But not Louis Vuitton.
No, it's not gonna happen.
Louis Vuitton never discounts.
Right.
How does all that really fit together in terms of, because they're all kind of making the same stuff. I mean, yeah, some of it may be a little more expensive. The material might be a little bit different, but everyone's kind of making the same, on the clothing side.
Yeah.
Talk about luggage and leather goods, and that's something a little different. But on the clothing side, people are still making the same stuff. And you have the staying power of all these brands. But how would you really compare them from a fashion point of view?
Well, I would say the one similarity with all those brands, Louis Vuitton, Ralph Lauren, and Gucci, is that most of those companies are publicly held companies.
True.
Which changes the landscape
Yeah,
of everything.
LVMH owns Louis Vuitton and a bunch of other brands.
Right.
Gucci is also owned by a conglomerate.
Yeah, and Ralph Lauren is public.
But that's by itself.
Right.
Yeah.
But what I mean by that is that you have unlimited cash resource to do whatever, however. So now you go to the biggest malls in Dubai, you're gonna find a Ralph Lauren or a Gucci store there. You go to any top mall all over the world where the richest of people shop, you're gonna find a Ralph Lauren, a Gucci, and an LV store close by or in that vicinity, guaranteed.
Right. Guaranteed.
So when you talk about why these brands are able to do what they do, it's all visual. You're there where when you have the richest of people in the world wearing your product, you're real.
Right.
You're legit. You're not going anywhere. You'll never go anywhere because you're there where they shop. It's until the day comes when a streetwear brand is able to gain the same real estate like they have and become legit, have unlimited resources. Because think at the end of the day, you're just making clothing.
Right.
You need fabric and a pattern and stitch your name on it.
Right.
It's not like they're creating things like, oh my God, how they think of that? It's clothing.
Right. It's not technology.
No, it's not technology. It's just clothing.
Although when you look at Nike, there is a technology aspect of it.
Wait, with some of the shoes?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's technology to it, but it's not like technology anybody else can't do. It's still a factory you make the shoes in.
Well,
I'm not trying to dilute what they're doing, but at the same time, it's like...
For example, like I remember seeing an interview with Mark Parker, who's the CEO of Nike.
Yeah.
And what he explained, which kind of blew my mind, was, like the Nike Flyknit shoes, that's actually one piece of fabric.
Okay.
It's one string that they actually have a machine that basically creates this whole shoe out of one string. Like that's like futurist technology.
Okay.
But you're saying that's not.
No, I think it's cool. No, I think it's cool. But at the end of the day, take away all the black athletes from Nike, what would they be?
All the black athletes from Nike? I see where you're going with this.
What would they be?
If you take
where would they get all the money to get all this technology from? All this so-called technology stuff. What do you think is fueling all this?
Michael Jordan.
So take away everybody. Why do you think that they're paying Harden, all these guys, these top $15, $20 million, whatever it is they're paying them?
He went to Adidas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you think they're paying some of these athletes such huge numbers to wear their product?
Well, because people associate a successful athlete with wearing a certain piece of clothing with the clothing that they want to wear themselves.
Right.
This is why you're seeing an ascension with Under Armour.
Right.
With Steph Curry.
Absolutely. And
like no one was wearing, and like I said, I own a sneaker site, and no one cared about Under Armour sneakers until like a year ago.
Yeah.
Nobody.
And they just read up on Bryce Harper's deal, one of the biggest deals out right now.
Cam Newton also is over there.
Yeah.
Imagine Nike without Michael Jordan.
Imagine a lot of companies without a lot of the superstars that they have. They'll just be another company. And so people could look at my company. Imagine Karl Kani without Biggie and Tupac.
Right. Imagine Rockaware without Jay-Z.
Yeah, probably wouldn't be.
And I guess Fubu had LL Cool J.
Yeah.
When you look at the bigger,
they
big
had
brands,
somebody attached to it.
But Polo has nobody.
Polo has great marketing. Polo is a marketing machine, and they've always been on top of their marketing game. And they had they had the U.S. Open. They had certain places, they sponsor certain things that's just so legit. They have yacht weeks that Polo sponsors and, different things like that. So everyone has their own way of getting their brand out there. And Polo was established before I was born.
Right.
It was established in 1967.
What's your take on U.S. Polo Association?
That's funny. They were able to figure out a way through their attorneys to really piggyback off of Polo, and they're ganking because I see they have a store in Times Square.
They have a store in Times Square,
big time.
Not on the outskirts of Times Square,
it's
in Times Square. Yeah.
They were able to figure out a way to get that trademark and be able to still have Polo exist, and they both have to self-exist using the same similar image, and they
Right.
totally piggybacked off.
I mean, it actually has the word polo in it.
Yep, U.S. Polo. So
And it has a polo rider
a
on
horse.
a horse, but there was like 3 guys.
Yeah.
There's like 3 polo riders.
it was funny. They had a billboard in Times Square. I just left Times Square. It had like this young kid just saying, "Oh, this is Tommy so and so, the youngest polo player." Some other stuff they had on there. So I mean, they found their niche. Good for them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Ralph Lauren doesn't like him too much.
No, but I think Ralph's okay. I think Ralph will be okay between him and his 100 odd exotic collectible cars and everything else he got going on. I think he's gonna be all right.
I feel you. So what's next for Karl Kani?
Just gonna build, man. We got our shoes coming out just in New York. We're working on bringing back the Karl Kani retro boots. You know, we're just gonna have fun this time and build our business the way we want to build it and build it a strong way. You know, retail stores will probably be in our foresight sometime in 2017, 2018.
In the U.S.?
In the U.S.
Okay.
We want to take some of the same blueprint, what's working for us in Japan. We realize retail is a risky business, but at the same time, you kind of need it nowadays because no one's able to tell your story correctly unless they come into your world. You know, you can't expect department stores to tell your story anymore. You got to tell your own story.